Governments, businesses, and civilians support the rise of renewable energy generation. But can green resources offer a steady supply and energy security to nations, communities, and homes? Jason Howlett, the CEO of GivEnergy, believes that the future belongs to energy storage and state-of-the-art batteries.
Utilize a battery on your system, purchase energy as cost-effectively as possible, or use it to store the energy you generate on your own site through solar, through wind, or any other application, and then use that energy that you've stored in the applications that you want. So we're seeing governments around the world talk about huge volumes of storage that's going to be required, utility scale storage systems. But actually, you're also looking at this embedded storage in the home, in businesses. And you can also benefit the grid in localized areas. The grid can cope if you balance out the load. And energy storage helps balance out the load, both in the home, the business, and on the grid. The biggest singular challenges when we're thinking about net zero is that people don't really think about energy storage. Somewhere around 3 to 5% of homes have got energy storage. The reason there's so few batteries in application is that people don't understand the benefits of what a battery can do. They're a little bit scared of how that impacts their day-to-day operation, even scared that it would cost them more money. So we've got a real challenge in the country of raising the awareness that installing a battery is relatively straightforward technology. So what batteries give you is better cost efficiency by accessing cheap rates. Many tariffs exist today from energy companies which allow people to buy energy at cheaper times at 7 pence overnight, whereas the daytime, the standard pricing is 25 to 30 pence. So if you can switch your demand to buying energy overnight, you're going to save 75% on the energy bill. A battery is paying back within 4 to 5 years. So here at GivEnergy, we manufacture batteries and inverters for homes, for businesses, for utility scale. So here we have our premium product, our 13.5 kilowatt hour battery. This will power the average home for well over a day. There's a 6 kilowatt inverter behind this panel, and then 4 battery packs that sit below. The unit above here is what we call the gateway. So this is what provides the EPS, the emergency power backup system. So this, in the event of a power cut, will enable the energy still to be provided to the home from the battery. So depending on how much energy is stored within the battery, will allow the home to carry on running up to a maximum of 6 kilowatts. So a kettle, 2 to 3 kilowatts, water heater, 3 kilowatts. So providing you don't try and power your car or anything else, this will run the home for well over a day. We designed it actually really quite effectively to make sure no component within here was more than 30 kilos. So we really had that thought process in mind for the installer as well as the homeowner. If we move on to then the other products here, this is our 5 kilowatt hybrid inverter that takes energy from the solar and diverts it to wherever it's needed. This infographic here on the front very much shows where that power flow is going. So this will take the solar from the roof or wherever the solar is, charge it into the battery, put it into the house, or discharge to the grid. Battery itself here is a 9.5 kilowatt hour battery. This will power the average home for about 1 day. 60 to 70% then of the energy they produce is able to be used in their own home environment. Move across here, what we see is our 5.1 kilowatt hour battery. People who don't need the same amount of storage then can put one of these on. You can always add a second one later. This is actually our newer design where we start to match the front covers here. So this is, as we've started to see cells become higher density, we can actually reduce the amount of space that the battery is required.
GivEnergy isn't just satisfied with excellence in technology. Jason tells us that they lobby hard for efficient policies against energy poverty.
Energy poverty is a massive challenge in this country right now. We've seen it on the news with pensioners' payments and winter fuel payments being reduced. This is something that's on the mind of everybody in the country. We're really lobbying hard that says, don't keep giving handouts. Install technology. Power people with technology rather than utilising and relying on benefits to make sure they can afford their energy bills.
It's not only homeowners that are looking for energy security. Businesses are too.
So I was actually at an ice cream shop a few weeks ago, and they'd had a power cut. So what I was talking to them about is our commercial and industrial unit here, which would have been perfect for their situation. So what we see inside here is a 30 kilowatt inverter, and then 69 kilowatt hours of battery storage in these individual packs. So each pack is 7.6 kilowatt hours. So the whole system can be installed into hotels, into restaurants, into anything where it's got a very high energy demand or very high energy generation, or the need to provide battery backup. So here we have our commercial to utility scale battery system. This is a rack of 200 kilowatt hours. Each battery pack is 10.75 kilowatt hours of storage. But what you can see here, you can scale that as big as you like. This system here is 600 kilowatt hours, but you can go bigger and bigger and bigger. This whole factory is actually running off these battery packs. When we started the building process and we went to the grid authority and said, can we have power for the requirements? The power wasn't available on the grid. So we decided we'd put enough solar onto the roof and then use these power packs to effectively be off grid. The great thing about the flexibility here is we've got this application in a building, but where you can also put it, if you don't have the room or the space to put that in a building, is also put it in a container, which I'll show you over here. So where space is a premium, this is where you put your storage system. So this one's being specifically made for a customer. It's a 10-foot container, standard shipping container that we modify. So you can see we insulate the container, we put the boarding on there, that's fire suppression boarding. This is for an air conditioning and heating unit, again, for the customer's requirements. We can put fire suppression systems into here, the electricity systems in. And so therefore, whatever the customer wants, then we can provide it for. And then this is what it looks like when finished. We've got one application actually in Belfast Hospital that's 4.8 megawatt hours, and that's providing backup to critical care assets in the hospital itself. You have a leading home energy management system. So typically people are looking for, what's the capacity and storage in my battery? How much energy have I got left to use? How much energy have I generated from my solar? How much energy have I used in my home? The real energy geeks who want to have a lot of involvement, you can see what each individual cell is doing. We have both an app and a portal. The app is written by the software team here in the UK. It's fully controlled by the software team here in the UK. What that means is that all data is both generated here in the UK, it never leaves the UK, and it's stored here on servers here in the UK. That means we fully comply with GDPR, and it really protects the consumer and the customer from any particular data breach. We've really grown from being a UK company to being an international company present in Europe, in Australasia, in South Africa, and around the world. We see ourselves being a truly global player. Energy storage has to be part of the future. Make that solution available to everybody.